Right, so moving on to our first topic of the day. Hands up in the air who played Red Dead Redemption.
Me.
Oh yeah, sorry, James. James is like.
I can't put my hands up.
I can't see Jim's hand.
You need your little avatars to do that. But me.
My one's got my hand up on my avatar, so it'll have to be me. It'll have to be my avatar.
So Luke, I know you went to the midnight launch. Is that correct?
We actually did not because now. Let me give you a little bit of backstory real quick. We were staying at Ed's over Con weekend, and his flatmate Harry was the one who was going to the midnight launch and purchasing the game. Before we decided to leave the flat because it was cold and raining, we mentioned to him that you can buy games digitally, and Harry wasn't too sure about that. So we talked him into it, and we was like, you can play it like literally a second past midnight. You got the game. So we didn't go to midnight launch, but he downloaded it at midnight, and we sat up till 3 AM and watched him play.
How long did it take him to download it? Because I pre-ordered digitally, and it took like 11 hours.
It took about an hour. It took him about an hour and 15 minutes, I believe.
No, it took about 2 hours 45 minutes, but they are in London with 380 meg. Yeah, he started downloading it at 9 and it...
Oh, was it 9? Okay, fair enough. I was probably asleep.
No wonder the stream's going down. My internet's crap. Jesus.
Yeah, so we got like a very late night giggly preview to the first 2 hours of the game, which is obviously up in the snow. So that was quite good. Good introduction to the game.
Isn't it 98 gigs for PlayStation and 108 for Xbox?
Yeah, that's correct.
That's right.
Yeah,
big game.
It took me I pre-ordered it because I went away last week to Wales, so I wanted to take my PlayStation with me, so I wanted to play when basically everybody else was asleep. I could just jump onto the PlayStation, but I didn't want to pre-order the physical version of it, and it like turn up after I'd left because I was leaving on the Friday, and the postman just turns up at random times. So I thought, well, if I can order the digital version, then I can get it preloaded and go from there. And I pre-ordered it on the Monday before, and it wasn't ready until like Wednesday night because I was stopping and starting it to get it to download. So yeah, I would love to have your internet. That would be amazing. That would have sped everything up a lot better.
It would have been amazing, but...
Go on,
I just love the idea of having like a hard disk in my hand, especially when it's from one of my favorite franchises. Like
so go on, G. Go on.
Yeah, so my favorite franchise of all time is Assassin's Creed of a game series. So I haven't bought Odyssey yet because I'm not done with the Origins.
I've got it.
But I have like a metal hard case of Origins, and I'm gonna buy the collector's edition for Odyssey as well. For my favorite game, which was Brotherhood, I bought it twice on the PlayStation 3. One was the standard game when I finished it, and the second one I bought the collector's edition with the big box. Had like the codex pages in it and all of that. It was amazing.
I got the first one.
See, my moving over from physical to digital is since I moved in with my girlfriend, she doesn't like clutter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
women don't like that.
So I'm a bit like, it's just for pure ease of life. I thought one, obviously for convenience of going away on holiday, but two, I think I am pushing more toward digital because I just don't have the space. Like I've got 2 shelves here, and I'm a bit worried that they'll actually stay up. So I think it's the best thing to do is just stick with digital. But the 98 gig was horrendous to download. That was quite painful. But yeah, living down in London would be a lot more convenient if you're doing your digital buying. You played 2 hours. How much have you played in total so far?
What, me?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I believe my playtime was about 16 hours. Because I've actually only played it twice.
Wow, so you've done 2 8-hour stints then?
Yeah, because I bought it so that me and my girlfriend could play it, but we haven't actually had a chance yet. So I played the first bit with her when I had a day off when I was ill, and then was I ill? Anyway, and then I've played it twice since then. So I've got to the bit where you are sort of like, oh, off you go do your thing, and now I'm sort of just in the world, just being Arthur Moore, which is quite good. I know I'm taking my time with it because it's one of them games you just need to let yourself be absorbed.
Yeah, you got to take it all in.
Yeah, exactly.
So is it like a 15-hour introduction then?
No, I just didn't want to say exactly where I was in case people want to know.
Yeah,
don't want to know too much
it's
details.
quite hard to actually say where you're about to are without actually giving things away. The actual tutorial area
is about 2 hours. I even skipped the cutscenes. It was still about 2 hours.
Oh.
So I've been through the tutorial 3 times.
I think in comparison to the first game, this one does introduce you to the gameplay mechanics a lot better than what the first one did. The first one it sort of got going, but then it was like you had to then rustle cattle and stuff, and it really slowed everything really down, like massively. And I remember going back to it about a month ago, and I went and then played about 2 or 3 hours of it, and that first 2 or 3 hours is so freaking boring. It's horrendous, and this one does it a lot better because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of story. There's a lot of backstory which has been told amongst away from where you're going from A to B. And the actual whole environment is absolutely amazing, which I know we mentioned already, been gorgeous, and taking it all in. James, how I presume you've got it?
I have, yeah.
How many hours are you in so far?
About 7 or 8.
7 or 8. That's not. I was expecting for you to go longer, actually, because
I would have been had Black Ops not been out at the same time, sort of, because I'm playing both, and I'm more drawn towards Black Ops because I've put the Xbox downstairs that I can because it's just like a chill game. Same. I want it to be like I can just sit down on the sofa and play, and because it's down there, I don't play it as often because obviously it's in the lounge. So, but yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed what I've played so far of it. It's incredible. The world is so living and breathing. It's insane. Yeah,
I got to admit that's probably one of the outstanding aspects of this game is that it does feel like a living, breathing world that you walk away from. There's a town near where we are at the moment with Valentine, and that town feels like it's an actual town. It doesn't feel like it's just NPCs walking around doing random stuff. Everybody feels like they've got a purpose and they're doing a job, and it's just the whole thing feels organic. Like I went into town and I've probably done about 10 to 12 hours on and off. And I went back into Valentine, and a guy just got thrown out of the saloon doors and started getting beat upon by 2 guys in the mud. And I was like, shall I join in? Just start beating everyone else. Like, but no, it was just like things like that which create this. Like they've got a story. Something's happened. It's not involved me at all. But I've just seen like the end of it, and it's like those little bits of detail create a world in itself. I do think it's great. I do think it's a bit of a Marmite game, though. If you don't like the first one, you will not like this.
I don't know if I don't know if I agree with that statement.
Go ahead,
Roger.
Okay.
Just because this one is quite different. I think maybe you could say if you don't like, Wild West, spaghetti western, that sort of, you're not even into Wild West games, then yeah, this definitely is you. But they do a lot in this one more than what the first one did. The first one was just mostly just running and gunning, really.
My argument would be to say why it will appeal to everybody is because I think it's a very slow game. This is not a game to play in 45 minutes.
No.
Jump in. You're going to have to dedicate, I would say, a minimum of 2 hours per time of playing just to try and... Because obviously, unless you do the fast traveling, which has a massive load time when you're fast traveling,
and you don't have it out the gate either.
Yeah, and it takes a long time going from A to B and doing all these missions, and some of these missions have multiple stages to them. It's something that you can't just quickly jump in do unless you're going to just go in and have a run and gun and have a mess about and play about and shoot everybody in town. Which is
just mess up your game.
Yeah, you can do that, but to actually progress in the story, you are going to have to invest a considerable time on each stint. So for people who don't have as much time or can't dedicate it currently, I think they will struggle to actually find a connection with this game until they find a day when they can put, like I said, 2-3 hours into it. That's when
I see where you're coming from. That, yeah, because the first bit is obviously there's quite a lot of quips to the first one, so.
Jiran, so you said before we went live that you actually haven't got it, but have you got any questions about Red Dead Redemption?
I have seen so much of the game, but to me, I think it might be kind of overrated in a sense, because everywhere some of my friends are crazy fans of the series, right? So they're like absolutely like losing their minds over Red Dead Redemption. So I pulled up the reviews on launch day. Everyone all across the board, it's 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, everywhere. So in my mind, because when I talk to people, they either love it or hate it. There's no one in the middle ground, sort of like, it's okay. It's not that, because GTA 5, for example, was the last game that Rockstar came up with. And it was a good game, undoubtedly. I enjoyed playing it. But its story, was it worth a 10 out of 10, though? Like, I didn't think so at all.
I never completed the story.
I played the story 3 times through. Because I went from my data got corrupted twice, and I'm kind of a completionist when it comes to story games. I need to finish the main story. So I lost my data twice on the PlayStation 3, and then I played it again on the 3rd time and finished it all the way through. To me, it wasn't a 10 out of 10 story because I didn't get emotionally attached to any of the characters as such.
I can agree with that with GTA 5. I played the main story. I didn't complete it. I don't know how far I got through. I played it for hours. But I have to admit, the reason why I stopped is that I didn't connect with absolutely anybody. Like, I enjoyed the idea of switching, but each of the characters I didn't feel like they were my characters.
Yeah.
Which is one thing that Red Dead Redemption 2 does do well, is that it's implemented a lot of the similar mechanics that San Andreas had, where you can have your clothing. Well, obviously, I know the GTA 5 had that, but then you have your hair customization a little bit more. And it's all about and also about weight as well. And I haven't really got too far into that, but with your eating, can you get buff in it? Like start lifting dead deer and stuff like that. And
I think you can get like fat and thin. That's the extent of it. Yeah. I don't think you can get hench though. Like, for more gains. Like,
but you can
I don't need a gun. I've got these guns.
No, for me, I would rate Witcher 3 as like a benchmark for one of the greatest games of all time, because I love the story, I love the choice system, I love the world. It was just beautiful all in all. So if you guys were to compare it to, let's say, Red Dead 2 with its side questing and with its because with Witcher 3, there was never the issue that open world games tend to suffer from is that there's so much travel that sometimes you're just riding a horse from one point to another to just complete a fetch quest, you know? And Witcher 3 never felt like that because the world was so amazing. Like you get attacked by monsters and people and all of that. And it was a big map. So if I were to ask you all to scale Red Dead 2 to, let's say, Witcher 3, which I consider is one of the best games of all time, how does it add up? Because they're both 10 out of 10s according to like IGN and stuff.
I would agree with that.
So you mean like in comparison to like the world and everything like that, where you travel? Like
the whole package.
The whole package. Like,
in terms of a gameplay experience and like an open world game.
To be honest, if you like The Witcher 3, you will like Red Dead Redemption. Yeah. In my honest opinion, because it's got the pacing is, again, steady like The Witcher 3 was. There was a lot going on, but it was quite evenly spread. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is a little bit slower, maybe.
Yeah.
And there is obviously a lot of, like I said before, these encounters that you have, which seem very realistic for when you're traveling around the world. When you're riding from A to B, like I was, I just come out of the camp, I was riding along, and this other rival gang jumped me, and it was a bit like, oh shit, I'm not prepared. And then I shot all them, looted them, and got spotted by a civilian who then went off to go, and it like comes up with the witness thing came up. I was like, crap. So I rode after him, shot him in the back. Oh, no, shot him. I'm like,
I was like,
I'm just like, bang. Then another guy another spotted me. So he's a witness. I was like, fucking hell. And literally by about 10 minutes later, it was just like turned into a massacre. And I'm like, I need to reload this. But it's like moments like that which do create like these unique experiences. Maybe I should start hog time people.
Yeah, the realism of the game makes me want to sort of be a good boy and like just sort of like and be like stick to rules. And I'm like riding around like morning.
Yeah, morning. I just walked through to Valentine's Day.
Just greeting everyone.
Hello, mister.
You can speak to every person. Morning, miss. He's like,
And when you say hello and be polite to people, your actual meter for being good goes up.
yeah, so you just got to walk around London greeting people, and you'll be going straight up to heaven.
Morning.
Morning.
No, but yeah, the whole aspect of that is really good.
Mathod says that The Last of Us is good. Yeah, Last of Us is the best story game for me of all time. Like, it's the best I've ever played, or I think will ever play, unless Last of Us 2 tops it.
I think I've got to be like with The Last of Us. Obviously, that's very linear gameplay.
Yeah, exactly why I didn't compare it.
In the quality of that, though, I do think Red Dead Redemption does have the quality of story. Like I said, it's just very, very slow. It's just it's a lot slower.
At the moment, it is. I think.
You
I
know,
don't know whether it's going to change as you get further in.
You know, they always say that you never complain about the pacing of an open world game because you could just blaze from point to point and point to point and get the story going, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Open world games can never be really said that, oh, you know, the pacing of the story here is bad because it's up to you, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's true. That is true.
Sidetracked and all
does,
of that.
obviously, there is always the situation where it does try and sidetrack you as much as possible. Like, you have... You finish your main quest and you've got then you shoot a legendary animal and you put it on the back of your horse and the woman's then like needs help and she's like, can you ride me to the local town?
Yeah.
And you go, I've just got a legendary item though. Like, you're gonna have to walk in town. Sorry.
See, I rode her the whole way there.
I did.
And then I followed her for a bit. Yeah, and I was like, oh, is she gonna be okay? I hope she's okay.
I already missed.
She was all like, yeah, morning.
But yeah, so
Roger, sorry. Just to touch on the legendary skin. So that's the bear you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I went and made a hat out of him, right? So I'm walking around with this legendary bear head on, and everyone's like, hey, you're looking kind of crazy. Everyone's like mocking the way I look. I thought I look badass. And they're all going, hey, you're one of them weird fellers, ain't you? I'm like, wait, I killed this bear.
I heard the games has like a thing where you have to take a shower and, you know...
Yep.
Keep yourself groomed or people won't talk to you.
But then, to be fair, if you did walk around with a bear head on, people would be a bit like...
Out of curiosity, though, like, where... I don't think I've actually had a wash in the game. Because I'm a bit struggling where to go. I can have a shave.
Mate, you get to go to the bath. Like,
What?
there's a hotel.
Yeah, you can get a woman to wash you.
Yeah, and she's like, do you need some assistance? And you're like, well, yeah.
Yes.
Morning.
Yes, I do.
And then
You
you're
can
like,
tell her what body
Morning.
parts to wash and stuff.
you're like,
I
scrub
must-
my right arm, scrub my left arm, scrub my leg.
But she always
She's all
touches
like-
your genitals, no matter what arm you ask her, like what arm or leg. She
And
always
there's-
goes to your
There's an
genitals
option
first.
for no small talk. So she's like, well, you're one of the nicer boys I've seen. And he's like, no small talk. He's like, shut up.
Oh my god.
Just scrub me, woman.
My guy must stink.
Yeah.
I was like, I just thought having a shave was enough, and I'm going, where do I go to have a wash? And there's a tub next to where my bed is, and I keep walking up to it going, why am I not washing?
Yeah.
Just like, so I kind of like at one point I just sort of like half walk on it and going, this'll do. Like,
But you can splash your face with like troughs or whatever, like the barrels of water around.
Yeah.
That doesn't really full effect.
I'm gonna have to go on after this and wash my guy because I'm getting a bit worried now. Walking
But
to the
people
bar, just
dislike you because you're dirty, basically.
Arthur Crazy Eyes Morgan. That's Richard.
So that was our review of Red Dead Redemption 2, covering all the way to chatting to NPCs, getting washed by a woman, and telling her that there's no small talk, apparently. So let us know down in the comments. Are you playing Red Dead Redemption 2 right now? How are you finding it? Is it as good as you were hoping it to be? Because games like this get massive hype before they get released. And obviously a lot of the outlets have done 10 out of 10. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10, personally. Mm-hmm. For me, a 10 out of 10 has to launch with no bugs. And I've lost 2 of my guns to bugs. I bought them, I upgraded them, I got shot, my horse got killed, I retrieved my saddle, bought a new horse, I got a basic horse, and one of my guns was there, and the other 2 that I had are gone.
Oh.
So that was a bit...
You sure that's a bug and just not how the game works, or?
I hope not.
Yeah, because I heard that people were disappointed that the game was like not buggy at all, you know? Like they were like really impressed by how good the game was, how polished it was.
Did you see the video of the horses bursting into flames?
No.
Oh, the people like have been like, sort of like you can become friends with your horse, basically look after them, and they can start getting special abilities by rearing up or do sharp turns and all this sort of thing. Well, people have been like getting the horses to pristine and being amazing, and then just like apparently just like dropping dead and then bursting into flames.
Oh, no.
And it's just like the horse is then gone. It's really weird. Really, really weird. And then other horses have walked over it. They've then died and burst into flames. It's just like a continuous horrible situation. But then the other one as well is it's on a really, really, really unbelievably weird scale. The other one where you see the camp where Arthur Morgan's walking around, and then all the NPCs and him suddenly lay down and start spinning on the spot, rotating. I was like,
that's amazing.
That's quite cool. I like that.